In Donald Trump's ongoing, highly politicized so-called fraud trial in New York City, a Deutsche Bank executive gave testimony today that could bolster Donald Trump's defense in his $250 million civil fraud trial. Donald Trump is due back in court, I believe it's December 11th. I know who knows the answer to this. Let's welcome legal spokeswoman for Donald Trump and general counsel for Save America, Alina Habba. Great to see you, Alina.
Thank you.
I've shown you this before off camera, but I want to read to you the legal definition of fraud, which is what your client is accused of. It says, as usually applied under state laws, the term fraud or dishonesty encompasses such matters as larceny, theft, embezzlement, forgery, misappropriation, wrongful abstraction, wrongful conversion, willful misapplication, or any other fraudulent or dishonest acts, and these last four words are key, resulting in financial loss. Where was the financial loss in the case that's being brought against your client?
New Yorkers that are paying Miss James to bring this witch hunt against Donald Trump. That's the answer for you, David. It's absurd. The president made people money. The Trump organization has paid hundreds of millions of dollars in taxes, of payroll taxes, employs thousands of employees. His statement of financial condition was undervalued. And today we had multiple Deutsche Bank witnesses testify that it didn't matter. His value was so high that even if you cut it in half, he still would have been fine, and the Deutsche Bank still would have had him in ultra net worth group, and he still would have gotten the same loan terms. We asked for a directed verdict from this judge. We said, Judge...
Just stop. What does that mean?
Sure. Directed verdict means there is no need to proceed to waste taxpayer dollars on this witch hunt because we have proven the case. There was no fraud. The banks made money. The president is worth a lot more than his statements of financial condition.
Has any bank suggested that they lost money because of their dealings with Donald Trump?
Every bank has made money. There has never been a default. And when there were holidays, the Trump organization paid early before the holidays to make sure there was never issues.
Now, Letitia James, the Attorney General, brought the case, claims that there was probable loss because of the fact that the banks could have made more money on interest, on charging a greater interest, to which you say what?
To which I say they all got paid early. They got paid with interest and early ahead of the loans. There were step downs, there were personal guarantees, and the assets were worth more than the financial condition. It doesn't make sense. New Yorkers should be afraid. Miss James is putting her nose into private contracts where there were absolutely no victims, where everybody on both sides of the contract kept their word, kept their deal, and made money. And she now wants to, because she ran on Trump, and because this is, again, the political election interference that we're seeing across the country right now, stop him.
Well, all Americans should be concerned about the way this has been. First of all, the judge decided that he was guilty before the trial.
That's right.
Secondly, not only was there a gag order against him, but one against you as well. The last time I saw you there, you couldn't talk about a lot of this.
Yeah.
You won that case.
Yes, we had it stayed, and now we're appealing that. And I got to tell you, the appellate division was great. They saw it for what it was. It's a constitutional First Amendment right. It's a Sixth Amendment right to counsel. I could not make objections based on a law clerk who was making campaign contributions, cheering on Letitia James on video and the anti-Trump rallies, and I wasn't allowed to speak about it in court or out of court.
Now, it seems that the judge in the case, again, he came out with his guilty verdict before the trial began. He is a political judge. He's been elected. He's a Democrat. We know that. But he was particularly interested in you keeping that information about his clerk secret. Why?
Yes. According to him, there were threats. Well, I'd like him to meet the world that we are in right now. And the reason there are threats and the reason there is polarization of anybody who takes political stances is because that is what the Biden administration, that is what we live in right now, wokeness and polarization. And that's exactly what President Trump wants to get rid of. When you see what happened with this law clerk, there is no place for that when you go into a judge, into a clerk's office. They are supposed to be arbiters that follow the judicial ethics conduct rules. They did not follow them. There are canons. They were broken, and everyone is ignoring it. The judge would not even read our mistrial papers. He wouldn't even address them. He said, I won't sign the order because then I could appeal it. That is how corrupt we're dealing with.
Well, now you're free to talk.
I'm free to talk.
You're free to get all this out there. Do you think that the American people have won so far in what they have? You only have 5 seconds for this.
I don't know that the American people have won. I think that we need to win in 24 to get the Americans back.
Alina Habba, great to see you.
Yeah,
thank you very much. Appreciate it.